Hi, so today I am making a small outdoor dining area table. I'm making it for around about four people, maybe six at a push. So it's only around about 130 centimeters long and around about 70 centimeters wide. So what I've used today, again, I'm just trying to find cheap ways to kind of make furnishings that look all right and are pretty good and pretty functional. So I've got my trusty scaff planks that I've got left over from the beds that we've been making. So I basically took one scaff plank and I just split it into three. For this project, I didn't take off these silver ends because I quite like them. Sometimes they're kind of quite jaggedy and they stick out, so you would want to take them off because you don't want to like catch yourself or whatever on them. But on this particular scaff plank, they were really nice and tidy, and I thought, well, actually, I quite like that, so I'm just going to keep that. So I've laid them out, I've cut them, I've laid them out, I've left a little gap between them. I'm now about to put the legs on. A couple of things just to bear in mind when you're thinking about doing these kind of projects is I've done some sanding on it. It's an outdoor table for me, so I didn't need to go too crazy mad for it. I basically used like a 60 and an 80 and maybe a 120 just as a final thing. But it's nothing. I don't need it to be really, really smoothed off particularly. I've left a gap between my scaff planks of probably around about a centimetre, just to make sure that if I leave it out by accident and the rain comes down, it can just run through and it doesn't pool on it. Another tip that I really like is that where you have here, you can see on the grain of the wood at the end, you've either got a smiley face if it's this way up, or if it's the other way around, you've got a sad face. So what I've put here is I've put it so that my smiley face is on the underside of the wood. So when I flip the table round, it's going to be a sad face looking down. And that's not because I feel particularly miserable. It's simply because when the rain lands on this kind of wood or when it gets wet, if the smiley face is this way, then the wood naturally wants to curve up with it. And so what I do is if I put it the other way around, then when the rain falls on there, it kind of acts as a counterbalance to what the wood naturally wants to do, which just stops it and makes it last a bit longer and stops that natural curvature of the wood over time when it wants to pull inwards a bit. I've decided for my legs to have these 3-pin steel legs. You can get these pretty cheaply around the place. They're not hugely expensive. You can get them on sort of eBay type sites, those kind of places, and they're pretty good and they're pretty sturdy and they're very easy to put on when you've got a nice flat space here. I've got these left over from some work I did some years ago. So I think that they look pretty good and they're going to be very sturdy, which is all I need.